Why does my tooth hurt when I run? I saw this question on Google and I thought it would be a really fun one to answer, not only as a dentist, because I should probably know the answer to that, but also as somebody who has experienced it firsthand. Now, if you like these videos that I've been doing, please give this one a thumbs up and subscribe. And if there's anything you'd like me to talk about specifically, just drop it in the comments below. I know somebody last time mentioned charcoal toothpaste, charcoal tooth whitening. I think that's going to be a really fun one to talk about. So look forward to that in the next week or so. But for today, why does your tooth hurt when you run? The answer is pretty simple. It's probably your sinuses. And I will, kind of my own experience, when I was a sophomore in high school, I remember at the end of track practice one day, I was jogging, and every time my foot hit the ground, my tooth would hurt, and that made no sense to me. It honestly didn't make a ton of sense until I started seeing these things firsthand and learned about how this was all connected together. So you might think, I've had sinus pain before. I know what that pressure feels like. This is a toothache. This is different. Believe it or not, your tooth and your sinuses, your teeth and your sinuses are so closely tied together that it's really easy for one to feel like the other one. In fact, if you look at this picture, you can see that not only is the sinus close to those teeth, it's actually served by the same nerve. It's called the superior alveolar nerve. It serves both your teeth and your sinus in that area. You can see that really clearly. I have it highlighted. So if you have that situation where you're running and every time you take a step, your tooth hurts, more than likely it's probably some sinus inflammation. And if you don't have any other sinus symptoms like really bad pressure or drainage, it's probably something that's just going to kind of take care of itself. Now, if it goes on more than a week or so, or it's getting worse, definitely something to have your medical doctor take a look at. Or if it feels like it's definitely a tooth issue to the point where when you drink cold water it hurts, or you can pinpoint it to this tooth and when you push on it with your finger it hurts, you definitely want your dentist to look at that because we want to rule out any possible tooth issue there. But more than likely, and again, I say that as someone who experiences this from time to time, it's probably just your sinuses, probably allergies acting up, something like that. So why does my tooth hurt when I run? It's probably sinuses, and it's probably going to get better on its own. Another thing that I have experienced personally is sensitivity on my lower front teeth when I'm running, especially if I've been running for a while and I'm really out of breath. Most likely that is just plain old cold sensitivity. If you think about it, when we go through our daily life, you're mostly breathing through your nose. But if you're running out in the 35-degree weather and it's been 30, 40 minutes and you've been pulling that cold air past those lower front teeth for that amount of time, they can get sensitive. It doesn't mean you're damaging your teeth. It just means that they're sensitive. If it becomes an issue to the point where you can't run or it's uncomfortable, that something's really wrong, definitely something you would want to get checked out. So why does my tooth hurt when I run? If it's every time you take a step, you get that little twinge and it's an upper back tooth, most likely that's some inflammation in your sinuses. If it's every time you take a big breath, you have some pretty severe sensitivity, that's just some sensitivity because your teeth are usually not that dried out, not that exposed to cold air. And if you have a situation like that, you could actually consider wearing a mouth guard. You can get those at, Meijer or Dick's or wherever. Just kind of cover that spot up. Again, it doesn't mean that something's wrong. It just means your teeth are exposed to more cold than they're used to feeling. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. Again, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you everybody next time.